Welcome back in one of the Bear Shopper Plays YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, November 21st, and I'm back looking at some more college football. We only have one game to pick from, so we're picking that game. NC State going up against Georgia Tech. I have my best game pick and a couple player props before that. Let's take a look at the Wednesday night action that we have. Both of our game picks are looking very good. Ohio is currently up 21-7, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Last time I checked with Buffalo, they were up 23-13 with the ball in the fourth quarter with about 14 minutes left. So both those plays looking really good. Took both money lines at plus money. Jay Henderson, over 87.5. Last time I checked, 85 rushing yards heading into the fourth quarter. That one's looking really good. And then Anthony Tyus got this at 59.5. Had two runs just a while ago that had 60-plus yards in them. So he has definitely gone over his rushing total. So might be looking at a back-to-back 4-0 day. That would be fantastic. Trying to gain some momentum going into the weekend. And we really needed it. I mean, we were struggling on these college football plays. So I'm glad that the tide is a little bit turning here going for the college football plays. Let's take a look at the play for tomorrow. We have NC State going up against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech obviously coming off of that massive win going up against Miami 2 weeks ago. They're coming into this game after a bye. That was the biggest upset probably on the season. Georgia Tech does have a couple of those games where they look like that they're just going to simply outman you. That's exactly what they did going up against Miami. Miami had no answer. The Miami defense has been bad all season long, but Georgia Tech just grounded and pounded the entire game, had a ton of rushing yards. Didn't even have their best running back besides the first possession. For the Wolfpack, they're coming off a bye week as well, so both these teams should be well-rested, healed up, ready to go. Coming off a loss, though, against Duke. Lost that game by 10. I'm going to take NC State here, plus 9.5. I think Georgia Tech, coming off that high, going up against Miami, will play a little bit of impact in this game. I know they had that bye week, but still, they have all that momentum in the world. Then they had to go on the bye week. That's just going to, I don't know, that feels a little bit weird there. And then NC State in this game, this is a potentially must-win game. They've got a game later on going up against North Carolina, the last game of the season, but that's a road game, a rivalry game. North Carolina probably going to win that one. They have 5 wins this year. So they've got to win one of these two to be bowl eligible. It is possible for them to win that last game against North Carolina, but I think this is a better spot for them to win it outright. So I'm going to take them plus 9.5. Looking at the strength of this NC State team on the defensive side, it's been the rushing defense, and they're giving up 140 yards per game, but that's 60th in the nation. A little bit better than middle of the pack in the NCAA this year. The secondary hasn't been great this season. Defense in total, 75th in the nation. So they're right in the middle of the pack. Defense, they're giving up a few too many points, but they've been decent at stopping the yardage. And the offense needs to work on that. They need to not turn the ball over, set the defense in bad spots. But I need to find a way to get their playmakers the ball as well on the offensive side. Those guys, they haven't been touching the ball. I'm going to touch on that on my player prop. But NC State needed to find a way to put up 20 points in this game. If they can do that, they can easily cover the spread here against Georgia Tech. It does hurt them a little bit because they've got a freshman at quarterback. Obviously, it's going to put them behind the 8 ball just a little bit because he's learning everything on the fly. But C.J. Bailey, he has been able to protect the ball just a little bit. 1,800 passing yards, 12 touchdowns. Not great for a starting quarterback, but he has only 5 interceptions this year. NC State, they've got to protect the ball offensively, force turnovers defensively, put up 20-plus points in this game. Those are the 3 keys. If they do all 3, they can win this game outright. 2 of 3, cover the spread. 1 of 3, who the hell knows? Georgia Tech wins this one by 10-plus. Georgia Tech will try to run all over you. They're probably going to have 150-plus, 175-plus rushing yards in this game. But I think NC State, whenever it matters in the red zone, this team understands that they need to win a game. So I think they're going to stand up a little bit more in this one. I'm going to take the Wolfpack with the points. This game's way more important to them than Georgia Tech. So plus 9.5 as the play for the player props today. We are going to start with the quarterback for Georgia Tech. It's going to be Haynes King to go over total rushing yards. This one's not out yet because Jamal Haynes is still in the news, and he is questionable for some reason. If you're unaware of Jamal Haynes, he took a deadly shot to the head against Miami in the first quarter. He was dominating Miami. 2 touches, 85 yards, had a touchdown. He broke one on the first possession. Then he got clobbered, so he's in the concussion protocol. He didn't come back in that game, and like I said, he's questionable with an undisclosed injury. We know what it is. He got assaulted. It looked like Miami had a hit job on him. That's what the injury is. Haynes King, though, he can have a monster day on the ground because Georgia Tech is going to be down their best running back. And whenever they did that last week, King almost had 100-plus rushing yards. He was able to run the ball 20 times in that game going up against Miami. 93 yards, had a rushing touchdown as well. He's been running a lot more over the last couple of games. He has had double-digit carries in 4 consecutive games, having over 58 rushing yards in 3 of those 4 games. So I do think this player prop's going to come out at a pretty high number. Whatever it does come out, though, I'm going to take it because GT, Georgia Tech, they don't throw the ball that much anyway. So I'm going to take the over for Haynes King here, over his total rushing yards as the play. And for the final play of the day, we are going to be looking at one of those playmakers I think NC State has Kevin Concepcion. Yeah, you like that at the end? Concepcion. He's a wide receiver for NC State. He's been the go-to guy the majority of the season. He has a lot of short catches. He hasn't notched 400 yards yet on the season, but he has 47 grabs. He was not used at all last week. He only touched the ball one time. It was a rushing attempt. No catches going up against Duke. NC State has had a couple weeks now in the bye week to drop a few plays for Kevin. I do think he's going to have a better day going up against Georgia Tech. NC State needs a guy like this to step up. They need to deliver him the football. They need to figure out a way to give him the football, whether it's on the outside or in the backfield. The points have to come from somewhere in this game. I'm going to take Kevin to have an anytime touchdown, so he's just got to get in the end zone in this game. If you take a look at the stats, he does have the most touchdowns by any skill player this season, and he scored 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games, 2 of them being on the ground. He has had a couple carries on the season, 14 in total. 2 of those 14 have gone for touchdowns, so he is using the red zone in this backfield. I think that's where this touchdown is going to come from as well. He's typically targeted a ton, like I said, 47 grabs in the season, but I think he gets this touchdown in the red zone on the ground. They're going to draw something up for him, gadget play, trick play, something like that. I'm going to take him in this game to find the end zone against Georgia Tech. They've got to score some points. He's going to be the one to do it over a touchdown as the final play of the day. Let's go to the recap graphic. We're going to take NC State plus 9.5. Haynes King over sort of rushing yards. Again, that's not out yet. That's just waiting on the news for Haynes, but he's not going to be playing in this game. So I think we're going to have a pretty big number there, 60 plus probably rushing yards for him. And then we're going to go with one of the best players NC State has, one of the best skilled players probably on the outside, Kevin, to go over a touchdown in this game. They've got to score some points somewhere. I think it comes from him. Guys, it's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Thursday, November 21st slate of games. If you guys enjoy the content, please sure to drop a like this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.